Hello, everybody. This is Jay. Um, I've been having requests from my online friends, people I don't actually know but get along with, to make a recording off of my main 5,000 day survival world. So I thought, finally, I'm going to give it a try. Yes, this is my 5,185 day survival world. This world is 4 years old. Been playing it since a little before the Garden Awakens game drop. At least I think that was 4 years ago. Anyway, this world also has actions and stuff onto it. I added that about a year ago. Actually, a little less. I want to say it was like 7 months ago, maybe. Anyway, to prove to you that I am not cheating, notice how the world has achievements enabled. This world is completely cheat-free. And as some people have been saying, I just grind at this world. And this is one of the things I do when I'm not in the middle of making a cartoon. So what I'll be doing is just giving you a tour of what I do on this world. This world is one that I've committed to for a long time. Here are all my cows. They're the only animal I raise for meat. I should probably start killing them off sometime soon. But this is my main home. Over there is my first house. It now belongs to the villagers. This is not an iron farm. These are all villagers that were once zombies that I cured and brought here. As for the iron golems inside, they were placed there because I've had incidents where pillagers would just spawn randomly in the world. I don't know if they still do that anymore or if they removed that a while ago, but just some patrolling pillagers spawned inside the house and killed them all off. So to prevent that from happening again, I placed the iron golems. These are my dogs, Henry and Ellie. If you get what I'm referencing, I'm proud of you. Just gonna skip the night real quick. Alright, let's take to the skies and see this thing from the outside. So here is my castle. It used to be just this one tower that I'm about to fly into. But over the years, I just kind of expanded more of it. The height goes all the way up to... I don't know, let's find out. 212. That would be almost to height limit. But I got some stained glass windows. I've got... Most of these rooms here are kind of empty. Because I have so much space I don't actually know what to do with. As you can see over there, I got a little bit of mossy cobblestone. I just had some mossy cobblestone that I wanted to use up, and I thought, why not use it on the castle? Some people think it's ugly. I think it's cool. I don't care what you think. Over there is my brother's sugarcane farm. It has gotten me tons of paper. He never shows up to use it himself, so I just kind of take advantage of it. Here's my trophy room. Here is one of the heavy cores that I got. Got a conduit. Can't have a trophy room without a dragon egg. And I'm not exactly sure why I brought this thing, but it's kind of a trophy to show that I've survived the deep dark. Granted, some of these times, because this isn't a hardcore world... Oh, hello, sir. How did you get in here? I don't care. Because this isn't a hardcore world, sometimes I kind of cheat and switch to peaceful mode from time to time, so I can get around safer, or so that I can build in peace. But sometimes it just helps me out. Granted, I can't really do that in a trial chamber, otherwise I don't get any of the good stuff. I actually live right next to a trial chamber. I'll show you that later. But this is the main floor that I mostly do my work in, with my dogs and where I sort out my loot. And believe me, this isn't even half of my loot. We got... Oh, this is a chest from a friend of mine. He never comes by anymore, but I just hold on to his stuff anyway. Before I show you the upstairs, I'm going to show you the downstairs. We got this storage room. Got all my gold and other goodies and bones. Here we got a swimming pool. Or a hot tub, or whatever you want to think of it. I don't see why you can't have a swimming pool and a hot tub be at the same thing. Like, everyone complains about having cold water in pools, so why not just have both? Anyway, here's like a main living room with bamboo furniture and where I keep all my cats. Got one of those secret painting doors, if I could find where I planted it. This is embarrassing. Here we go. Where I just have a spare bedroom. And here we have a spare bedroom. And here we have a spare bedroom. I think you get the message. I'm a really big fan of aquariums, so I built one underwater. Oh, geez. So I built one underground. Just skip that part if you ever feel like rewatching this. We got my two squids. We got Inkay and Malamar. And then we got Squirtle the turtle. I have a little pocket, a little den for him up there. There used to be a bunch of like coral blocks in here, but I moved those to something I'll show you later. Here we got my library. Mostly full of copper and more copper, and you get the message. Got some head decor. I died 5 times trying to get this. A friend of mine called me insane for that, but I've been called worse. Here's just some signs of the Minecraft emojis that they have. I don't know. I was just having fun, I guess. Here we got a spare bedroom. Here we got a spare bedroom. Here's my second library. Don't know if you heard that zombie, but here we have a spare bedroom. Lots of spare bedrooms. Random clump of redstone. I kind of enjoyed making this one the most. I don't know, I just kind of like the light system. This is the kind of light level I prefer. It's kind of warm. And I use glow berries for the lights. I'm pretty proud of it. This used to be like right where this line, right where these walls are, there used to be more aquarium here. Pretty much most of the basement, every room that is now a spare bedroom, all used to be a piece of aquarium, but all the fish was causing too much lag for my pocket device. So I had to get it all moved to another location. So I don't really have much to do with this big open space. Down there is a tunnel to a secret base that I'm going to need a friend's permission to show you. But here we got this little cozy fireplace. These are my first cats. Over here is Oscar, my very first one. Anyway, we got like a little bar or something here, completely loaded with food. And here we have the map room. You know, there's that little green dot right there. Yeah, geez, what have I done? There we go. I got that little green dot right there. That's where we are. And this is the entire bit of overworld that I have mapped out so far. I'm not going to add more to it until Chaos Cubed comes out, because I've learned that when they add more biomes to the world, the farther I have to explore to find them all, so I decided to stop mapping so far out and wait for more updates to come. I really can't wait to see when the new forest looks like on the map. Like you can see, there's that little gray spot, makes a pale garden. Those little pink spots with the light grass, got the cherry biome. I can't wait to see what kind of atmosphere the new forest has to offer. Here we have a few more trophies. I don't know why I have another heavy core here. I could just make another mace out of it. We have the rarest ore of all. And I don't know how rare these things are, but I don't find them often anymore, so I just kind of took it as a trophy. And we return back to the living room. Now enough about the downstairs, let's show you more of the upstairs. The dandelion is because I used to keep a bee in here. His name was Buzz. He died, so I just kind of keep the flower in here for his honor. Anyway, here's the furnace room. This is my brother's dog. I have him tied to a fence post because since my brother never joins to make him sit, I don't want him just wandering around the base. So I just tied him up. Anyway, this is where I carry most just random building loot. This entire side of the room, it belongs to my brother. Sometimes when I need to, I take from it. It's not like he ever joins to stop me. Anyway, here we have more of my friends' rooms. The person who lived here moved out, but whatever. Anyway, this is where I carry this is like my armory crafting room, where we have all of my really good gear, besides the stuff that I carry on me right now. Pretty proud of it. We got all the iron. We got all the stone. We got all the wood. And it's amazing. We got the potions room, the enchantment room, a map room that I pretty much don't really use because I already have a bigger map downstairs, as you've seen. An excuse for having a fancy end chest system. Fancy greenery I set up. The tapestry room. Every single one of these villager banners is a trophy for every time I've taken down a pillager outpost or stood up against one of those random patrol teams that I used to find. Here we got the dance floor. Got all the music discs. Come on, go up the stairs. There we go. And here we have just a replica of what you've seen downstairs. It was just an excuse to use one of these. And this room is the absolute worst. That was weird. Anyway. Yeah, I have died several times in this room because, as you've seen, mobs still sometimes spawn up here and they walk into the nether, and I've walked in plenty of times just to be greeted by a creeper to die on the spot over a pit of lava. It's not fun. But yeah, most of the rooms, like I said, are empty. Right up here, we have the second dragon egg because for some reason, bedrock ender dragons can drop 2 dragon eggs per world. This is where I keep some of my really good loot. I consider flint and steel very valuable. I never leave without it. I have 3 extra heavy cores, or 4 from that unnecessary one in my other trophy haul, that I could just give away to those who earn them, I guess, or those who are too lazy to, or too scared to go into the trial chamber. Here's an excuse just to have a whole bunch of paintings, including this one that likes to yell at me all the time. I don't know what I did to it. I don't care. Just an excuse to have a whole bunch of glazed terracottas. At this point, I'm pretty much just wasting rooms just to have excuses for anything. Just like, for example, this block does absolutely nothing but help you get Fletcher villagers. So why I keep one in the base, I have no idea, but it looks fancy, so I set up a fancy room for it. This one I think is pretty cool. It's the bakery. Got the whole cake and frosting themed carpet. Got pastries all around. I love it very much. Here's my little lava farm. Though I could always go to the nether to get more lava, I feel like that way is safer and more productive, to be honest. Since I tend to go AFK on the castle a lot, the buckets fill very easily. I'm going to grab a bite. And let's go ahead and skip the night. And that's pretty much everything on the in this tower that you got to see. The other towers don't really have anything inside of it. But I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the things we have. On this floor, we have the tool room. Mostly stuff that I've looted from, like, End City chests and stuff. I use them to spoil my guests. One thing that satisfies me very much is being a good host. And I feel like the best way to be a good survival host is to spoil your guests with the best loot possible. Here we have the theater. This took me a couple days to make, mostly getting the blackstone. We have the little ghost delay because every theater's got to have a ghost. That's just law at this point. And we got the backstage where I just have a copper golem who doesn't really do anything. I don't really have him do anything. But I'm pretty proud of having a theater in one of my basements. My brother planted sugarcane along this entire river. Okay, not the entire river, but most of what's in view. We got this sniffer farm here. We continue, there's a secondary sugarcane farm. Here we got like this, I tried to have this whole Japanese style house with like the cherry and the red walls that I've seen in like anime and stuff. I don't really watch anime. All I've really watched was Sonic X and a couple Pokemon things. I never got into it really, but from what I've seen in like most other things, they have like this kind of style of Japanese house. So this is the best I could do. And we just have random huts made out of random things. My favorite one is the slime igloo. Anyway, we return to this tower. And underneath it we got the dungeons, because I feel like castles gotta have dungeons. And in the center we got a little boxing ring for the prisoners to work out their differences if they ever get their leisure hour. I should probably build like some actual stairs here. Save the time. I don't know, I guess I'm just too lazy to actually go and do that of all things. Here we have like memorials of old friends that showed up and never came back. And finally underneath the fourth tower we have this little restaurant. It's nothing much really. I didn't really, I built a hollowed area underneath it, and then I didn't know what to do with it afterwards, so I built a restaurant under it with, we got our 5-star kitchen here, and we got the freezer. Not much to see down here, but it's always lovely. And there could have been something underneath the 5th tower, but it kind of, the dungeons down from the 3rd tower kind of overflow underneath to it. So I wasn't really able to do that. I was going to put a spleef rink under it, but it didn't work out very well. Going over here, we have just my tree collection. I collect trees and giant plants from every biome and just stick them over here, I guess. I don't know why the sky is so gloomy right now. But we have houses that were built by other friends. They have really good choices of design. We got this barn. We got that church right over there. Even though it's empty, I could probably put more stuff into it. And the minecart down there leads to the main mines and to a whole bunch of other secrets that I will not record. But it has like a killer roller coaster down there, so we got that going. A friend of mine built an armor store here. She did really well. I mean, I gave her like a whole bunch of other stuff that she could use for armor and stuff for her business, but she never used it, so I'm not going to push her to. We go down this path and we got this elevator system that was set up by the same friend. Leads right down to the trial chamber I mentioned earlier. It's just an absolute mess down there at this point because so many people have looted from it. But it's always fun to take new guests down there. Alright, now we're going to go fly ahead across these plains and trees to the main village. I have a railroad system that goes underneath it all. For those who don't have elytra travel. But the trip from above is also pretty neat to see. We have just some random houses, and I'm really proud of how these ones came out, especially the one in the side of the mountain that we just passed. I really like this like waterfall dam thing. even though there's there's not water behind it for the dam to hold. It was just fun to make. I don't know. You have this giant wool creeper from all the sheep I have. Got a windmill, and here we are at the main village. I built the wall to keep raids out for when I need to start a raid. The newest thing to it is this big old dirt archway based off of a Minecraft movie. I think it turned out pretty well. I had some help with most of the village, actually. The population of this village is like 60-something villagers. I have each one labeled and named based off of the villager news series, whenever they'd show up again. But we have villagers here and there doing absolutely everything. We have literally every type of villager business that's possible. Here we have an overview of the whole thing. It's freaking massive. We have the staircases that lead to a top level of the village. We used to have villagers up here, like we would bring them up here through Happy Ghasts. But they decided they don't like it up here because they didn't feel safe, which, to be honest, is reasonable. So they decided to move downstairs. I'm getting dizzy. Anyway. There wasn't enough room to build houses for everything, so we just put their stations in random places in the village sometimes. Over here we have this bakery that I built. I think it turned out really well. Meant to look like a cake from the top, even though it didn't look like a cake at all. But we got these crafters. Got all of them filled for the necessary things to bake, I guess. This is also one of my newest creations. I love chickens too much that I don't want to abuse them. So I made Steve's lava chicken shack, but with bacon instead. And I don't know, I think it turned out really well. It doesn't work as well as Steve's creation. You kinda have to hold some veggies to lure the pigs over. But it still gets the work done. I'm pretty proud of it. Come on, there we go. And finally, we got this house that is basically just my home away from home. And we got monsters nearby, that's not fun. But this is where I carry some spare loot for like emergencies if should I ever be like driven out of the castle for any reason at all. I'm just gonna switch to peaceful right now, actually, so we can skip the night. Nighty night. We have like 25 iron golems that I'd like to have more spread out, but they decide to hang out on this half of town instead. Anyway, we go behind the village, and we got the fairgrounds. We got this giant Steve statue I made, which is kind of derpy, but for my level of construction on survival, I think it turned out really well. We got this sick roller coaster that's got a bounce to it and a fireworks system. But my favorite creation of all is the aquarium. This is where I put all the fish from my basement, except for that one tunnel. We got the conduit with all the coral blocks down here. We got another glass tunnel. I used to have a sea turtle in here as well. I don't know what happened to it. I built that pocket right here for it, but I don't know where it went. Maybe it despawned since I forgot to put a name tag on it. I don't know. But we got every variety of fish in here. Thank goodness that the buckets label what kind of fish you have when you collect them. These guys were such a pain to put in. I had to put like a pipe outside that like pierced through the walls just to get into this exhibit. I had to put a name tag on each one of these guys just so that they wouldn't despawn. I don't know why they only like to hang up here though. They're meant to be seen from downstairs as well. Anyway, we got the cod and the salmon, and because every aquarium has got to have one of those crawl spaces for kids, I put one in here where you can see the fish, see the dolphins, wherever they're at. Okay, where are the dolphins? Oh, there's one. Thank goodness for Swift Sneak. I used to be so confused why I crawled like very fast through the tunnel, but it's because I have Swift Sneak on my leggings. And we have these puffer fish that can still sting you through the frickin' wall. So keep your distance. Here we have my axolotls. They're cute, though they don't do much. Down here we got the frogs. Up there we have more fish. I built a balcony because the balcony is kind of new because I used to have just one exhibit stacked on top of the other, but you couldn't really see them. So I built the balcony so you can actually get a view of the fish who like to hang out on the seafloor for some reason. Like I filled the whole tank from bottom to top, so there's no reason for them to go up, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't really know what to do with this hallway. I was really heartbroken when the Penguins lost the mob vote. I am a Penguin fanatic, and when they didn't win, I was devastated. I would have loved to have them in my aquarium. Anyway, we got this gift shop for the actions and stuff, plushies. Got every variety of the fish things. As for these balloons, I don't know why the warden showed up for the rest of these fish-themed things, but I guess I'm not one to judge, I suppose. Got a bouncy castle made entirely out of slime. Got this giant T-Rex statue. Not statue. Wow, nobody clipped that. My brother, who is one of my brothers, who is a dinosaur fanatic. I mean, he complains about it being too big to be a T-Rex, but come on, man, let me do what I can. This is my allay garden from a woodland mansion that I have a tunnel system through the nether to get to. Speaking of the nether, we have this big old fancy ruined portal that I put back together, and at least how I imagined it to be. But the best part of this area is probably the logo, because this is the name of my Minecraft world. So I put up like a big old Hollywood sign on it, and I think it turned out great. And even though it's not a lot of redstone down there, the only ore I've ever found in these caves are just redstone ore. So I decided to have fun with it and put up like this little industrial redstone crane here, which I think is pretty neat. Let's return to the castle. When I was I know that the Spring to Life update is all pretty new and stuff, so you'll see like wildflowers through the mountains behind the castle. I say behind because that way is south. But I mostly just explored through the north area, and so all the newer game drops and stuff would generate that way. But that was before I discovered a village over there and decided to make it bigger and fancier and cooler in every way. One of my newest additions is that zombie horse right there. I'm really glad that they're in survival Minecraft now. We got my garden recently harvested from it, but the bees make it bloom constantly. Very useful. We go past this area, and over here we have my zombie villager trap. I keep the thing of golden apples and weakness potions up in this tower, so they're a quick grab to help the villager that you trap. And then there's the difficult process of transferring it to the house over there. I don't know why I put it so far away, but as you can see, this place is an absolute creeper minefield. I've had a lot of nighttime battles in this area, and I trigger a lot of creepers. I read this thing that candles are supposed to, calm creeper activity, and I've tested it, and I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or what, but so far nothing's changed when I have a candle near a creeper. This is my creaking farm, more like my resin farm, but the creakings are the way of getting the resin. Got the gargoyle system and the soul lamp posts. Let's not be here when it gets too dark, though. We got this giant wool panda. It is hollow on the inside. It could be used to make a house or something. I don't know. I have the beacons here be the main colors of me and my brothers. We got blue, which represents me. Then we got green, which is my second oldest brother. For third, we got red. And fourth, we got yellow. These have been our favorite colors growing up. And so, to represent that, I just kind of put a fancy light system about it. We go up on this platform here. Whoa. And we have this sick fireworks system that I built. Turned out pretty well, I'd say. We have these Happy Gas parking stations, which we used these said Happy Gas to build this Zeppelin right here. Made entirely out of copper. It's even got the copper torches in there. I don't really see the purpose of crafting a copper torch besides decoration. Not a lot of people really join the world as often as I'd like them to. So I guess my creative side mostly just kind of went on hold so I can gather resources on mostly just for plain survival. It would be nice to have something like Luke the Notable where they could, just like have like towers made entirely out of emerald blocks and whatnot. Anyway, I think I've wasted your time enough today. I'm going to stop recording, even though there's so much stuff I'd like to show you all, like my vaults, my main armory, my safe haven. All of it was really fun to make, and I'd love to show it off. But I think this will do for today. So thank you for watching, and that'll be all. See ya.